What really crashed in the desert near Roswell in 1947? Was it a weather balloon, or something not of this earth? What the U.S. military first admitted, and then denied, has fueled the world's most famous UFO mystery for over 75 years. In July 1947, a mysterious crash outside Roswell, New Mexico, ignited global curiosity. At first, the military confirmed they had recovered a flying disc. But almost immediately, they changed the story. The truth was buried, and what followed became one of the most persistent conspiracy theories in modern history. Rumors, leaked documents, and eyewitness testimonies continue to cast doubt on the official narrative. Did the government hide alien contact? Or was it all a Cold War misunderstanding? The Roswell incident stands at the center of UFO lore, challenging what we know, and what we're allowed to know, about life beyond Earth. On July 7, 1947, rancher Mac Brazel discovered shiny, lightweight debris scattered across his land near Corona, New Mexico. The material included foil-like sheets, thin wooden sticks, and rubber strips. Brazel was perplexed. He had never seen anything like it and decided to report the find to local authorities. Brazel brought pieces of the debris to Sheriff George Wilcox, who quickly contacted the Roswell Army Airfield. Major Jesse Marcel, an intelligence officer, was dispatched to investigate. Marcel accompanied Brazel to the crash site and collected materials, describing them later as having unusual strength and strange, hieroglyphic-like markings. The next day, the Roswell Army Airfield issued a press release claiming they had recovered a flying disc. The news spread rapidly across the country. Newspapers headlined the story, fueling public excitement and speculation. Finally, it seemed, the existence of alien life might have been confirmed in New Mexico. But within hours, the military reversed its position. A second statement announced the recovered debris was actually a crashed weather balloon. Reporters were invited to view the supposed wreckage. Major Marcel posed with tinfoil, sticks, and tape. The narrative shifted, and suspicion began to take root in the American imagination. The rapid change in story raised eyebrows. Why would trained military officials mistake balloon debris for a flying saucer? UFO enthusiasts argue that the government realized the public wasn't ready for the truth. To maintain secrecy and avoid panic, they covered up what was truly found at the crash site. Locals reported seeing strange lights in the sky days before the debris was discovered. Some claimed to hear an explosion. Others said the military cordoned off the crash area and escorted civilians away. These reports, although unverified, became essential ingredients in the Roswell legend that would soon explode. Some witnesses described bizarre material unlike anything known, flexible but unterrible foil, beams with purple symbols, and weightless metal. Children who later handled the pieces said they snapped back to their original shape when crumpled. Even decades later, the descriptions remained consistent, reinforcing belief that something unearthly had fallen. Despite the military's retraction, interest in Roswell continued quietly. Journalists and researchers occasionally referenced the incident, but without evidence, it faded from mainstream news. Still, whispers of a deeper truth persisted in UFO circles. People believed the government had revealed too much, then scrambled to take it back. By the early 1950s, public attention shifted to new UFO sightings, yet Roswell remained a silent undercurrent in alien folklore. The crash was largely forgotten by the public but remembered by those who sensed deception. The seeds of doubt had been planted, and they would grow into a storm decades later. In the late 1970s, nuclear physicist and UFO researcher Stanton Friedman interviewed retired Major Jesse Marcel. Marcel claimed the debris he recovered was not of this world. His account directly contradicted the weather balloon story and reignited public interest. The Roswell incident had returned, this time as a full-blown conspiracy. Friedman's investigation grew. He and other researchers interviewed dozens of witnesses, including military personnel, locals, and family members. Many gave consistent stories, strange materials, government intimidation, and sightings of unusual vehicles. These testimonies painted a picture of a massive, deliberate cover-up orchestrated at the highest levels of the military. One key claim emerged: alien bodies were recovered from a second crash site near Roswell. Witnesses described small humanoid figures, some alive, some dead. They were allegedly transported to secret locations for examination. Although no physical evidence has surfaced, the sheer number of aligned testimonies gave the claims weight. Skeptics dismissed these accounts as exaggeration or fabricated memories. But UFO researchers countered, how could so many people from different backgrounds tell similar stories over decades? Psychologists and historians debated memory reliability, while the media began producing documentaries that explored both sides of the unfolding Roswell narrative. In 1994, the U.S. Air Force released the first of two official reports addressing the incident. It concluded that the debris was from Project Mogul, a classified balloon program designed to detect Soviet nuclear tests. While plausible, critics questioned why the military had misidentified the materials in the first place. The Second Air Force report, published in 1997, tackled the alien bodies. It claimed they were likely high-altitude crash test dummies used in later experiments. Yet discrepancies emerged. The dummies weren't used until the 1950s, years after the Roswell event. This gap further fueled suspicions of a continuing cover-up. Many believe the Project Mogul explanation was a convenient way to retroactively patch up the conflicting stories. Documents and memos from the era remain heavily redacted or lost. Attempts to declassify key files were blocked, making it difficult for researchers to fully verify or debunk the official version. Numerous deathbed confessions from former military personnel added eerie authenticity. Some claimed to have handled alien corpses. Others spoke of being sworn to secrecy under threat. While unverifiable, such statements have become cornerstones of the Roswell mythos, haunting echoes from those who allegedly knew too much. By the turn of the millennium, Roswell had evolved into a symbol of government secrecy. It was no longer just a UFO story, it was about mistrust in institutions. The public's demand for answers extended beyond aliens, seeking truth in an age of disinformation, secrecy, and silenced whistleblowers. Roswell inspired pop culture across the globe. From films like Independence Day to shows like The X-Files, the imagery of saucers and alien autopsies became mainstream. Roswell was no longer just a town, it became the face of a global curiosity that bridged science fiction and potential scientific fact. Annual UFO festivals in Roswell attract thousands of visitors. The city has embraced its mysterious legacy with museums, tours, and events. Far from being shunned, the crash has become a celebrated identity. Conspiracy or not, the incident gave Roswell an enduring place in the cultural and economic map. Some theories suggest the crash was a diversion, a psychological operation to test public reactions or cover up advanced aircraft testing. Others propose it was a Soviet deception involving genetically altered pilots to sow chaos. As wild as they sound, these ideas reflect the incident's magnetism and open-ended uncertainty. Skeptics argue that Roswell persists because people want to believe. They cite confirmation bias, misremembered events, and media influence. For them, Roswell is a mirror of our desire for mystery. But believers insist there's too much smoke for there not to be fire, and that fire came from the sky. Ufology grew from Roswell's ashes. Countless organizations, from MUFON to Disclosure Project, cite it as a founding case. It legitimized the search for extraterrestrial life in mainstream discourse. Pilots, generals, and even astronauts referenced Roswell as the beginning of serious public questioning of the UFO phenomenon. Even government officials weighed in. In 2001, former Canadian Defense Minister Paul Hellyer publicly claimed the U.S. was concealing alien technology. He referenced Roswell as a turning point. Although controversial, such statements added fuel to a fire that refuses to burn out, even after nearly 8 decades. Modern technology has allowed independent researchers to reanalyze photos, documents, and audio tapes related to the case. AI-enhanced imagery and radar maps have been used to trace supposed crash trajectories. Yet despite these efforts, no definitive answers have emerged, only more questions and speculation layered atop the original mystery. In 2023, renewed efforts to declassify documents under the Freedom of Information Act brought the case back into headlines. Petitions, hearings, and congressional inquiries aimed at UFO transparency continue to reference Roswell as the original test of government honesty. The case is far from closed. Roswell endures not because of what we know, but because of what we don't. Whether a weather balloon, Soviet plot, or alien spacecraft, it represents the human need to uncover truth. In the desert sands of New Mexico lies either a mundane accident, or the greatest secret in modern history. So, what really crashed in the desert outside Roswell in 1947? A balloon? A saucer? Something else entirely? The conflicting stories, persistent witnesses, and secrecy have kept this mystery alive for generations. The answers may lie buried, but the questions still hover over us like an unidentified light in the sky. If you found this exploration fascinating, subscribe to The Forgotten Past for more historical mysteries. Comment your theory below. Was Roswell a cover-up, or contact?